So my opinion is New Year's resolutions are absolute garbage. I said it, I don't care, they don't work, and deep down you already know that. So what if instead of making another list of vague promises you'll break by February, you actually did something different this year, something that works? That's exactly what I'm talking about in today's episode. Reset, realign, and actually make 2026 count. Let's fucking go. This podcast is being recorded on Gubby Gubby land. We pay our respects to the traditional custodians of this land, our country, and elders past and present. I am Cait Muir, and this is the first Tell Me About It podcast episode of 2026. And I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so grateful for each of you for listening in all of last year and supporting this podcast launch, and obviously, and of course, being here again to support me again this year. So welcome to 2026. This episode is called Reset, Realign, and actually make 2026 count, or something along those lines. And I'm so bloody excited to be back in your ears after a bit of a break. So what I'm going to dive into today, or what I want to actually talk about, is why New Year's resolutions are kind of bullshit and what you can do instead to actually set yourself up for a year that feels intentional and to feel powerful. I want to explore with you how to take an honest look at where you're at right now, how to get crystal clear on what you actually want, how to map out your perfect day so you can start building towards it, and why your team culture is going to be everything this year. I'm also going to touch on a little bit about KPIs and why tracking your numbers matters, but don't worry, that's a whole episode coming up soon. So today's about getting your head right, getting organized, and setting the tone for what is going to be a massive, fucking awesome, successful, abundant, rich, beautiful year. 2026 is the year of a horse. And I am a horse year. I'm a 1990s baby. And it's also a numerological 1 year. So the best part about that, if you listened to my episode about 6 weeks ago, was that it's a year of new beginnings and new things coming to fruition and new projects and starting things and executing. And the horse energy is that driver that's going to push you forward and make you work. And it's just all about forward energy, forward focus, and moving forward at quite a pace. So I think 2026 is already structured to be a fucking great one. Anyway, let's just get into it. New Year's resolutions. We've all made them. We've all broken them by about January 5th, and then we spend the rest of the year feeling like failures or just pretending we never made them in the first place. Resolutions fail because they're usually vague, they're often reactive, and they don't actually connect to anything deeper. Saying, I want to grow my business, or I want to be skinnier, or I want to make more money, it's lovely, but it doesn't mean anything without specificity and intention. You could literally sit here and be like, I want to lose weight this year, and you could go and have a big shit and you would have lost weight. Okay, technically goal achieved. I want you to go so much deeper than that. The other problem is that resolutions tend to focus on what we don't want, okay? So I don't want to be stressed anymore. I don't want to be broke anymore. I don't want to be fat anymore. I don't want to be overwhelmed. And here's what I've learned. Whether you put your energy into what you do want or you don't want, you're going to get it. So if you're constantly thinking about the stress and the overwhelm and the lack and the guess what and the how quiet you are, that's what's going to keep showing up for you, because where your focus goes, your energy flows. So what I want to offer you instead is a complete reset, not just a resolution, but a realignment, a chance to actually look at where you're at right now, get honest about it, and then build a roadmap towards where you want to be. And this isn't about sprinkling my magic business dust and hoping for the best. This is about grabbing the bull by the horns and actually going after it. So if you're sitting there thinking, well, that's all well and good, Cait, but where the fuck do I even start? That's exactly what I'm going to cover today. So the best thing to do is getting honest about where you're at. And the first step in any reset is doing an honest assessment of where you currently are. And I mean brutally honest, not the version that you tell your mates about at brunch, or the story you've been spinning to make yourself feel better, or even the stuff that you've been putting out on social media to make yourself look better. This is the real, the raw, and the unfiltered truth. And this can be extremely confronting. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I make my clients do this on the first week of their coaching, and this is the best time of year to do it too, because you have a whole calendar year worth of statistics, worth of KPIs, worth of numbers, worth of digits to actually look at, okay? So I want to look at your numbers. I want to look at your habits. I want to look at your results, and I want to look at your reality. That's exposing and sometimes a bit eek. There's a quote I heard. I saw this amazing speaker named Nadine Champion. She was one of Australia's most elite martial artists. I saw her talk at an event once, and she said, "A punch to the face doesn't hurt any less if you close your eyes." And I thought, I just love that so much because it's so true, right? If whether your eyes are open or your eyes are shut, if someone punches you in the face, it's going to fucking hurt. So the thing is, with your numbers and with where you're at now and with your business and with your life, it's not going to hurt any less if you avoid it. Actually, it'll probably hurt more if you avoid it. So just rip the Band-Aid off. Just start it. Just look. So start with your numbers. If you have a point of sale software, any kind of tracking system, pull a report for the last 12 weeks, 12 months, quarter, months, whatever. Look at your sales, look at your cash flow, look at your revenue. If you don't have a system, naughty, get with the times. That's 2026, time to digitalize. But you may need to manually go back and have a look at everything. I know it's a bit of a tedious job, but you can't improve what you don't measure, and you can't improve what you don't know. So once you've got your numbers in front of yourself, ask yourself, what do these numbers tell me? Was there anything good, anything bad, anything unexpected? What clearly needs improvement? It's not about beating yourself up. It's about getting a baseline, and you can't set meaningful goals if you don't know where you're starting from. Think of it like a GPS. If it doesn't have a start point, how are you going to get directions to where you need to go? You can't, okay? So while you're at it, I aside from the actual factual numbers and everything too, I want to extend this honesty beyond just your numbers. How are you actually feeling about your business at the moment? How are you feeling about your life? How are you feeling about your marriage? How are you feeling about your friends? Are you energized? Are you burnt out? Are you excited? Are you dreading each day? Are you making things happen, watching things happen? Or do you feel like things are constantly happening to you? The last question is a big one. Really sit with it, because the whole point of this year is to become someone who makes things happen, not just someone who sits around hoping that things will change and wishing that Lamborghini would get dropped in your driveway. Okay? From there, the next part of any goal setting or manifestation is getting clear on what it is that you actually want. Get specific about it. And I mean really specific. No ego, no judgment. Just pure honesty about what it is that you want and your desires and your dreams. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. They keep their goals vague because vague goals are safer. If you never clearly define what you want, you can never really fail, right? You also can't really succeed. Vague goals lead to vague results. So let's dig in. What do you want? Not what you think you should want, not what other people want for you, not what other people expect of you. What do you actually want? What do you want? Okay? In the words of Ryan Gosling, what do you want? What do you want? Here is something that might help put things in perspective. The average wage in 2025 was around $86,000. With super and entitlements, that's a little bit over $100,000. So if you're working more than 38 hours a week in your business and you're paying yourself less than that, let me be direct with you. You don't have a business, you have a job doll, and a pretty stressful, pretty well underpaying one at that. So to get specific, what income do you want to be earning? What does your lifestyle look like? What team do you want around you? How many hours do you want to work? What kind of clients do you want to work with? Go deeper into that and be really specific. You've got to ask the universe for what it is that you want, and you can't manifest what you don't know, okay? You can't create what you don't know what you're working towards. Here's the next layer. These next few questions are going to go a little bit deeper. Not a lot of people actually look at them, and I'm going to challenge you to do it. And they're really hard. It might take you some time. Get your notebook and pen out if you haven't already. Maybe you should pause and go back and start again if you haven't done that. What would having everything that you want do for you? Not for everybody else, for you. How would it change how you feel when you wake up? How would it change your relationships, your health, your sense of purpose? How would it change you? Then ask yourself, how will you know when you have it? If you've just been one of those people that's like, I want to be successful in your goals, that is so unspecific and so vague, I can't even tell you. Also, how would you know when you have success? How will you know when you have each of those goals that you've set? What will it look like? What will it feel like? What will it smell like? What will it taste like? Always tapping into your senses. And how will you know when you've arrived, sis? Get a date and time in mind. When do you want all of this by? Nothing is unrealistic or out of reach when you're willing to do the work, and you need to hold yourself accountable. And if you need someone else to kick you up the ass, girlfriend, I am here for you. You tell me. I'm going to kick you up the butt and make sure that you stick to it. So get a date and time in mind. When do you want this by? Nothing's unrealistic. Nothing's out of reach. You have to do the work. Here's where I'm going to get a little bit deeper with you. How will achieving this affect the important people and the other aspects of your life, your kids, your partner, your friendships, your living arrangements? And I guess I probably want to preface this by saying it's not going to affect everyone positively, by the way. Every change has an ecology. There are ripple effects, right? Butterfly. Some people might not come along for the ride. Some relationships might shift. You need to be aware of that going on. You need to be aware of that when you're going in to do something new. Are you willing to lose some of those relationships to have the things that you want? Because that's what it's going to take and that's what it's going to cost if your goals are big enough. Okay, especially in Australia, tall poppy syndrome is everywhere. And finally, who are you doing this for? Is it for yourself? I hope it's for yourself. I hope majority of it's for yourself. Is it for others? Is it for both? There's no wrong answer. You need to know your why, because that's what's going to push you through when things get hard, when things get difficult. As we know, reaching things and being in business and life is never, this straight up scale. It's up, down, it's here, there, it's everywhere. And with everything new and with every new step forward becomes other challenges will surface. It's important that you know that, and it's important you know your why, otherwise you're not going to be able to push through some of those days. Okay. There's a few ways that you can set your goals. We do a few different things in my coaching group. One of them is your perfect day. This is one of my favorite activities. I do this every 6 months. Even still to this day, I still do it. It's about getting so detailed and so specific about your ideal life that you can practically taste it. So here's how it works. Imagine the date is exactly 12 months from today. So that's like January 5th, 2027. You wake up and this is your perfect day. Not a fancy, not a pipe dream, but the life you've built through intention and effort. What time do you wake up? Who's beside you? What does your bedroom look like? What do you eat for breakfast? What are you wearing? Where do you live? Have you moved town, stayed put? What car is sitting in your driveway? What do you look like? What do you feel? How do you feel? How are you dressed? Is your house noisy with kids running around or peaceful and quiet? Is it sunny? Is it rainy? Are you rushing out the door, taking your time with a coffee? If your perfect day involves going to work, that's awesome. And if it's not, that's fine too. What's your workspace look like? What kind of tasks are you doing? Who are you working with? If your perfect personal day and your perfect work day are different, I'd probably do it twice. For me, actually, my ideal day, obviously, is probably lying on my back in the Maldives, but I joke. My ideal day probably does have a little bit of work, and I'm married to my job, and I love being married to my job. I'm married to all of our businesses and all of our projects. So, I do have a couple of hours work. I don't have 8 hours of work. I have about 3. But yeah, my ideal day does have some work, so I write about that in there. The more specific you are, the more powerful this exercise becomes, because you're not just daydreaming, you're actually creating a blueprint and you're tapping in to this energy and you're telling your brain the direction that you want to go. You need to be really, really specific and make it as visual as possible. And if you need to read this every morning, go ahead. If you need to put this on your bathroom mirror, if you need to create a vision board around it, do it. Okay. This is one of the best ways of actually doing this. From them, you actually need to create action steps from where you are now to where you need to be. If you know that you're making $80,000 a year, but to have the life that you want, you need to be earning $150,000 a year, well, how does that happen? How do you create that extra $70,000 a year plus taxes? Is it taking on extra clients? Is it hiring someone else? What is it? How do you do it? Is it selling more products? Is it putting your prices up? What is it? Okay, action steps. You can sit there and wishful think and dream all day, but if you're not doing anything about it and you're not changing anything, what is it? For some of you, it might be changing where you work. For some of you, it might be relocating. For some of you, it might be changing jobs. For some of you, it might be all sorts of things. For some of you, it may be stop fucking spending. It can be so many different things. So have a sit and have a think about how you then get from A to B, A where you are now to B where you want to be. Okay, and how are you checking it? How are you tracking it? What are you doing? Is it something that needs to happen daily? Is it something that needs to happen hourly? Is it something that needs to happen monthly? What is it? Hopefully that's made it a little bit easier for you. It was 10 years ago, 8 years ago, I can't remember, somewhere around that. I did my perfect day activity and I realized it didn't include my ex-husband. I realized nothing about that marriage was making me happy. I felt like it was a literal ball and chain on my capability and my energy. I was married to someone who bullied me every single day and abused me and made me feel like shit. And it was doing that exercise that actually made me realize that my life needed to change. I also started to realize that I wasn't really happy in the area that I lived. I lived in a beautiful house right in the city, great. But that environment, that state, that area of the world, not for me anymore. I'd always had dreams of going elsewhere and I was, gaslit and told by people that I needed to stay because of family and I wouldn't make it up there and blah, blah, blah. And it was doing this that made me go, I want something different. It's not about more or less. It was just, I want something different to what I have now. And then I created the pathway of how to get there. And I did it. I executed it. If it wasn't for the stupid pandemic, it would have been a little bit earlier, but shit happens and you got to roll with it. So don't be afraid to be really harshly, truly honest with yourself, because that's one of the best things that we can do. You can't keep lying and saying everything's okay or everything's happy or everything's great if it's not. And if something is great or something is awesome and you can expand on that and do more of it, then fucking fab. Go ham, sis. Go ham. Yeah, bookmark this one in. I like it. Also with that, if you are setting goals for 12 months from now, I like 12 months. I mean, you can do a 10-year, 12-year plan. I love that too. That's great. But like if you want to do just 12 months, a great way to do that then is to divide it down into 9 months, 6 months, 3 months. So where do you have to be in 3 months to achieve X, Y, Z, in 6 months to achieve X, Y, Z, in 9 months to then have what you want in a year from now? So obviously things aren't going to happen overnight. I think sometimes when you start with a 3 or 6 month goal, it's maybe not long enough. I think 12 months is really great because then you can work backwards from that. So try that. There's lots of different ways of doing this. And look, in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into team culture because it does deserve its own dedicated conversation. But I want to plant the seed a little bit today because if you have a team, your team is going to be one of the biggest factors in whether or not you achieve your goals this year. Okay, if you're an employer and you've got people working for you, you can't do all of this alone. And if you're the one that's carrying the burden of everything that's going on in your business, my God, 2026 is the year to stop. We've stopped, okay? Surrounding yourself with the right people, whether that's staff, collaborators, mentors, or even just a supportive network is absolutely essential for growth. So here's something I want you to really think about. Your network defines your net worth. Who are you spending the majority of your time with? Are these people bringing positivity and great things and great energy and motivation towards your business and your life, or are they dead weight holding you back? Do they have conversations about topics, ideas, growth, or are they just bitchy and they talk about other people? Because you're going to become the average of everybody that you spend the most time with. Usually the top 5 people that are in your life, that is who you become, okay? Spend all your time with alcoholics, you'll probably become one. Spend all your time with drug addicts, you'll probably become one. Spend all your time with surfers, you'll probably become one, okay? Spend all your time with gym bros, you'll probably become one. Whoever you want to be, whatever you want to make out of this year, it's never too late to find a new circle. It's never too late to change your team up. It's never too late to be and to meet new people and to get yourself out there. So when it comes to your actual team, if you have staff, start thinking about the value that you're creating for them. Why are they choosing to work with you? What's in it for them beyond a paycheck? We're going to explore this more in 2 weeks, like I said, but for now, just start noticing. Are your people engaged and excited, or are they just going through the motions? And if you don't have a team yet and you do want to have a team, or you think that's going to get you closer to your goals, start thinking about the type of people you want to attract into your life. What values matter to you? What kind of culture do you want to build? Because the culture you create will determine the caliber of the people who want to be a part of it. And the type of people you have in there will be a definite yes or no of whether you're going to achieve what you want to achieve this year. It's going to be a goodie. It's going to be a biggie. And yeah, we really need to lean into that too. So I'm going to rapid fire through a few more things because I want to make sure we're setting you up with a complete toolkit for this year. First, KPIs, and I'm doing a full episode on this soon, but here's the seed. You need to be working towards specific key performance indicators that are guiding your business and guiding your goals. What gets measured gets managed. Setting, tracking, exceeding your KPIs is how you actually know if you're making progress. It's enough to just feel like things are going well. You need data. We'll get into this properly soon. But as I said, if you're doing the 12 months, 9 months, 6 months, 3 months, you should have pretty clear directives of what you need to get to, okay? But you also need to track it. Don't ignore it. Second, one thing at a time. I know you've got a million ideas and you want to do everything at once. And trust me, I fucking get it. I'm an ADHD girly, unmedicated as fuck at the moment because IVF, can't have amphetamines. It's the worst. My brain has 97 voices going on at any given time. I know you've got a million ideas and you want to do everything at once, but trying to execute everything simultaneously is a recipe for burnout and mediocrity. So pick one, execute it well, get it running well, then move on to the next thing. Stop trying to boil the ocean, okay? Third, create some real value and be yourself. Stop trying to copy what everyone else is doing and just be you. Being different, special, unique, that's what draws people in. Your authenticity is your superpower. And maybe it's the perfect time to lean into that this year. Maybe it's a rebrand. Maybe it's just putting yourself out there differently. Maybe it's just giving a little bit more of your real life. I think that would be a really important, thing to note this year. I also want you guys to really embrace growth thinking. Make growth thinking part of your daily practice. A growth mindset means you can see challenges as opportunities to learn rather than evidence you're not good enough. Failure isn't the end. Failure is the beginning of a new pathway or a new something or a learning opportunity, okay? And I'm not sitting here saying you need to do 25 minutes of meditation and a fucking ice bath every morning. If that is your flavor, you go do that. Proud of you, love that. Not for me. My brain, when I meditate, goes to 97 different places and I get nothing out of it. And I actually end up feeling more exhausted because I feel like I haven't been able to lock in and tune into anything. But think about growth. Be goal-driven. Set your intentions every morning and work towards that and be bigger, be better, go for more, okay? Stop being mediocre. 5th, make your goals physical and visual. So write them on sticky notes, create a vision board, put them on your phone background. I have mine on my computer background at all times. The more you see your goals, the more they stay at the top of your mind and the more likely you are to take action towards them. It's also just a general reminder that you're kind of pulling yourself back into where you need to be. 6th, I want you to incentivize yourself. You reward your staff, so why not reward yourself? You reward your kids, so why not reward yourself? Set up a goal and reward system. When you hit a target, treat yourself, get that handbag, take the day off, go on a holiday, celebrate your wins. And you deserve to do it with something that you want. It also helps overspending, if you ask me. The last thing I want to kind of touch on my little rapid fire section of today is money loves a purpose. Every goal that you should set, you should have a clear intention behind it. So being specific and tangible about what you want and why you want it gives efforts and gives it direction and gives it meaning, okay? Every dollar that you make needs to be allocated to something. That might be to savings, that might be to wealth creation, that might be to something. The more direct and clear you are with it, the better. I would advise, if you can, to have your accounts named different things. So it might be like holiday fund, new car fund, training and education fund, fucking whatever, I don't care. But have intentions for your money. Don't just spend willy-nilly and don't just tap, okay? Be clear, be direct, be honorable to your money. Anyone in business is very blessed. And sometimes we take that for granted, that we have the freedom and the flexibility to make as much money as we possibly want. We also have the freedom and the flexibility to design our own lives. And that is something a lot of people will never have and they will never get. 2026 is not going to be the year of vague resolutions and forgotten promises. It's going to be the year you reset, realign, and actually make it count. Be honest. Be clear about your goals. Design your perfect day. Think about your team and your network. Get organized. Track your KPIs. Focus on one thing at a time. And, I've done a few quotes in this episode. It's not normally like me, but I want to leave you with one more anyway. And this is a quote from Brian Tracy. And that is, those who do not have goals are doomed forever to work for those who do. You're a business owner. You're amazing. You're capable of everything that you put your mind to, but only if you have goals and you keep setting bigger ones, and only if you lean in and you really grab that business by the balls. So this year, if I can encourage you to do anything, stop waiting for things to happen. Stop watching from the sidelines. Stop sitting there thinking, why does everything amazing happen to them and nothing ever great happens to me? Stop doing that victim mentality, bullshit. Go and make it happen, okay? This is the year for it. You got it. And I'll see you with the next episode, which is a little bit of a interview one. We love our interview ones. And the following one, like I said, we'll be diving into team culture and how to build a squad that actually helps you grow. Until then, go and fucking get it.